Wyoming has many impressive mountain ranges, from the Bighorn Mountains to the Grand Tetons. But there is one mountain range that I've never ventured into, the Wind River Range. Join me as I backpack into those mountains at the Green River Lakes. Hey fellow expeditionists, it's the Sloan Ranger here. I'm going to attempt a hike, maybe even a backpack, out around the Green Lakes here in the Wind River Range. The Green River Lakes are located at the northernmost reach of the Wind River Range in the Bridger-Teton National Forest. It is an adventure just to get to the trailhead, where I had to drive 19 miles on an unimproved forest road that winds along the headwaters of the Green River, where I was even treated to a moose sighting along the way. There were many boondocking sites along this road, some right on the river, and there is a small first-come, first-served campground at the head of the lower Green River Lake. But I wasn't here for any of that. It was my plan to spend the night out on the trail. So I am walking on the Highline Trail for now. It is actually a little tiny section of the Continental Divide Trail. Starting on the east side of the lower Green River Lake, the plan was to take the Highline Trail out about 4 miles and hopefully find a campsite with an awesome view over the upper Green River Lake. Then the return hike would take the west side of the lake on the Lakeside Trail for a full hike of around 8 miles. Of course, things don't always go as planned. So this is literally the headwaters for the Green River. Look at this bridge. See that groove in the middle? That's how wore down and trafficked it is. I believe horses cross it. So that's probably what does most of that. So off to the right there, that is a Big Sheep Mountain. Well, the wind has suddenly picked up, so I may be getting stormed on here. The forecast had called for partly to mostly cloudy skies and just a very slim chance for rain. But when you're in the mountains, and we are over 8,000 feet, I believe, all bets are off. Cloudy or not, that's some awesome scenery. So there's those awesome views I was talking about. I believe right in the middle there we have Squaretop Mountain. Well, the storm clouds have left us behind, at least for now, and given us this amazing view. Ain't that pretty? I'm guessing that's Clear Creek. I believe there's supposed to be some kind of awesome viewpoint right here. And then in that area, I believe, should have some campsites. Let's see if there's this awesome viewpoint or not. I do love these bridges though. So, still got Big Sheep Mountain there in front of us. Anyway, let's go back around over here. Already see remnants of a campfire over here. Here's another site we could camp at. And it would give me pretty much the view I'm looking for. As many cars as I saw at the trailhead, I really figured all of these spots would be taken for backpacking, but I don't know. Maybe they're just out here hiking and not camping. Maybe they'll give it to me all to myself. Or maybe they just haven't arrived yet. Clouds are moving back in, but it doesn't really take away from the beauty much here. I do hope that this is the backpacker trail and not just a path that like the moose have made through here. All right, I found a tent. Somebody else has beat me to this spot. So let's keep on looking. And this is probably the primo spot here. Somebody's got a tent up right there. And why is it a primo spot? I think that tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what it's all about right there. Did I say that that guy's spot down there was the primo spot, that he had the best site? Because if I said that, I was wrong. I got me a fire pit here. Not that I'm going to use it. I'm not going to do a fire here. But I'm up on a little hill. And that is my view. Oh, yeah. It does not get better than this, y'all.
A few moments later.
Well, in the middle of me trying to put up my tent, the rain came back. So I hastily got it up, and now I'm just kind of waiting for it to pass. Well, rain has passed, at least for now. Finished getting the tent properly set up. And thought I'd go over the particulars. It took me about 3.75 miles, 3¾ miles to get out to this point for this backpacking spot. So you don't have to go out that terribly far to have this kind of amazing view. And if you wanted more, one of the hikers I passed on the way in said, you know, you keep going out that Highline Trail or Continental Divide Trail, really. Keep on going out that side. He said, views just keep getting better and better, which I can only imagine they would. So if my pack looked kind of weird carrying on my back, it's because I had a frameless pack, my Gossamer Gear pack, with that huge full-size bear canister in it. This is grizzly country. I have never backpacked in grizzly country. I've hiked in it a few times, but never actually spent the night down in a little bitty tent like this. So I'm not messing around. I brought the full-size canister, but the problem is, of course, is that a frameless pack with that thing in it is rough, because the curvature of that huge canister is just all up against your back. And it just feels funny, you know. So let's go back down the hill here. We got some time to kill, as long as nobody comes up here and tries to steal my awesome campsite. Let's go down to Lakeside. I might have to come back down here a little bit later in the evening, because I hear sometimes moose will come out into the water here. This is when I was really regretting my son not being here. While I was thinking this was a bufflehead, Caden later corrected me that it was a common goldeneye, not something that I would have ever even thought of. He would have been extremely helpful in naming a lot of the plants and flowers I encountered as well. Saw a couple of hikers and their two dogs down there on Lakeside, and so they were jealous that I took this spot here. I suppose I'm being a little bit selfish. It's a large spot. You could fit a few tents up here, but you know what? It's my only time here. I'm being selfish. But then they told me that they saw two moose coming in, same trail I came in on. So I'm a little jealous of them. So another benefit of bringing the bear canister, it can double as a seat. That was part of my thinking. That way I didn't have to bring along my little camp chair, although that sure would have been comfortable. But up here, there's so many large rocks that I really don't need to use it as a seat. There's a bunch of natural seats up here. Just kind of exploring my camp area up here on top of this hill. Just admiring all of the cool wildflowers. I mean, look at that, it's just beautiful right there, isn't it? Let's take a look around our campsite. My tiny little one-person tent there. Lots of boulders. There's a lot of space up here. You can see where somebody's had a much larger tent over here. And it looks like there's probably more campsites back through that way. It's just that I got the one with the main view. Well, I started this adventure a little after 1 p.m. this afternoon. It's now about 6 p.m. And it looks like we've got at least our third weather system moving in. So I'm probably gonna go hunker down again. Not a lot of rain yet, but it's making a lot of noise. There's a few cracks of lightning. Not going to lie, I was having a lot of second thoughts right about now, as I was essentially camped in an exposed area on top of granite at high elevation. One of the worst places to be if there happened to be any lightning strikes. I'm not sure if there's any place else I could have gone that would have been safer, so I just hunkered down and waited it out. Yeah. Getting started now. I have ice sliding off the sides of my tent. Well, that was a pretty good storm there. It's about 8 p.m. now. I mean, biscuits and gravy is good for any time of the day, right? Well, the clouds must have cracked somewhere, because we're finally getting a sliver of the last sun of the day. I keep seeing these little puffs of fog coming up through the tree line over there. And the one thought that keeps entering my mind is we had a lot of lightning earlier, and that's what causes a lot of these wildfires out west. So now that's all I can think about. Is it fog because it's cooled down so much? Or could there be a fire smoldering over there from lightning? Good morning, folks. Not my best night of sleep, I will say that, but you know, that's one of those things that I can deal with if I'm waking up to this. Well, the fog is rolling in and I'm rolling out. Amazing experience. Let's see if we can take the Lakeside Trail back. I think I just scared the bofflehead family. I think I'm losing the race with the fog. Well, we have made it to the last bridge that we seen yesterday before going to find our camp. We did not fully cross it, of course. There had been some great views out here. But this is the way to the Lakeside Trail on the other side of the lower Green River Lake. It's also the Porcupine Trail, I think, goes out this way, which heads in the opposite direction of what we need to go to. I believe up the sides of the mountains over there. So if you're into mountain climbing, that might be your route. I am definitely going to be getting my legs wet through here, more than they already are. I guess I should say this is very narrow. Everything is wet that I touch. I'm going to guess that's moose tracks. A little too big for your average deer. I'm not sure about elk in the area. Weird. So this side of the lake has definitely seen some wildfire devastation. So I'm hoping there's not just a ton of deadfall to climb over. While hiking in yesterday on the Highline Trail, I had observed some burned areas across the lake that might affect the Lakeside Trail, but I vastly underestimated just how much. What I did not know at the time was that in the summer of 2025, just 10 months before this hike, a wildfire called the Dollar Lake Fire had severely impacted more than 19,000 acres in this area. This being in the Bridger Wilderness, where chainsaws are not typically allowed, meant that there had been no cleanup whatsoever of the downed trees I found myself now trying to work through. Yeah, this might have been a mistake. There is trees down everywhere. It's going to take a while. Do I trust it? I do, for the moment. Whee! All right. All right, it is time to play Whose Scat Is That? Whose poop am I looking at right now? It's kind of dragged along, so I feel like they were pooping while they were walking. Am I looking at Bear Scat? He was just doing his duty as he walked. That'd be my first guess. Really gives you respect for the power of fires. Kind of an eerie feeling right here. Awesome. Well, if I had taken the Highline Trail back like I took in, I'd already be back to the trailhead. But right now, over here on the Lakeside Trail, I've probably still got about a mile to go, just because of all the obstacles I've had to climb over and go around and under. But, you know, the fog is lifting, so now I'm getting some pretty awesome views. So we crossed the boundary out of the Bridger Wilderness and into Bridger-Teton National Forest. And just in the National Forest, they can come in here with chainsaws and cut up the deadfall. But in the actual wilderness area, you cannot take anything motorized whatsoever. So for them to attempt to cut up all the deadfall, it would have to be done with hand tools. So that's why it's untouched. What an amazing experience backpacking out the Green Lakes here in the Bridger-Teton National Forest. Amazing experience. The views, I couldn't have asked for more. It had its struggles, of course, with the thunderstorms going through, and then, of course, coming back that Lakeside Trail with all of the deadfall. I didn't even get 1% of everything I had to climb over on video because I had to use my hands, and they are still caked with soot and pine sap, apparently. But amazing experience. I do not recommend Lakeside Trail right now. Highline Trail, amazing. Do it if you ever find yourself here in this part of Wyoming. Anyway, I'm off to my next adventure. Till then, peace.